Hello. Hello everyone. How are we? Can anyone hear me? I think that's a no. Let's try this. How's that? Can people hear me now? Say hello in the comments and let me know if you can hear me. I'm having a little bit of sound issue, I think. Can anyone hear me? Yes, good, excellent. Thanks, George. Well, welcome to Friday Night Live, chatting about detectors. G'day, Brian, how are you? Good to see you. That's right, Beck. You're allowed to watch this on the train. I don't think anyone will kick you off for that. So, yes. So, very exciting night tonight. We have been sponsored, and I know this is back front, but tonight we've been sponsored by Bounty Hunter. Now, Bounty Hunter have given us a metal detector giveaway. So, there's a mystery number, and this is it here, actually. So it's just a little kids machine. We'll go through it a little bit later. So what I've done is I've got a mystery number written down here. The person who makes that number comment throughout the live, I will Monday morning send them that metal detector for their kids or their grandkids. So it's a great little detector, and we'll announce it before the live show ends tonight. So if you haven't joined us before, this talk is just about general metal detecting. If you've got any questions, we normally pick a subject. Tonight's subject is we're going to talk a little bit about metal detecting for kids and what to do, what not to do. It's a good time of year if you're looking for Christmas presents. We thought we might talk about a machine or two, and it's a great thing to involve the kids in to get them outside. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that, but feel free to have a really good if you've got any questions or something's troubling you about how to do something with a machine, I might be able to help, or people in the chat might be able to help, and that's what this is all about. So we've got a few more on. Kelly, I'm glad you liked the giveaway. And Warren's here, NQ Explorers, which is fantastic. Nadia's on. Now, Nadia had a special request that we talk about a bit of research, how to research spots and for gold prospecting, and I thought I'd include relic hunting as well. And but we're going to do that next week. This has been such a huge success that we've upgraded our technology a little bit. So it might be the last night sitting on the veranda for a few weeks. We'll see what happens over Christmas. It might be all over the place over Christmas, but we'll have a crack at it anyway. So so next week we're going to cover how to research spots, how to get on ground, and we're going to cover it from both angles, both the relic angle and the and gold prospecting. Now, we could fill 3 or 4 hours on just that topic. So we'll give you a brief overview, and yep, we'll go down that road next week. So Mick's here. G'day, Mick. I suppose the young guns are sitting around watching as well. Jessica, we'll get into the how much the detectors are in just a moment. G'day, Kelly, Justin, Kelly and Kevin, and so we're getting quite a few here. So we may as well jump straight into this kids detector thing. So I've written my top 5 things. Now they're not necessarily things that, some of the things are for parents to do, but let's have a bit of a chat about them. So there's a stack of machines you can buy from like big box stores, and you know, even some of the electronic stores. You can buy these machines and they're $25 or $50. I've tested a lot of them, and a lot of them, some of them are rubbish, right? This one here, for instance, this is the cheapest one I've found that works really well. This is $179. It extends, it's all extendable, so it's suitable. So for instance, if anyone drove past the shop at Browns Plains today, you might have seen me over the park with this detector. I got a few strange looks. This detector going and chasing a few bits and pieces around, and it works really, really well. Now, I'm probably 5'9", and I had to use this machine sort of a bit hunched over. So I reckon kids up to sort of 14 or 15 would be sweet using this machine. But it also shrinks down to, I suppose it's a bit hard to tell on that camera, but that'd be 50 centimetres. So my young bloke who's 18 months old, he couldn't use it, obviously. He's struggling to walk, but it wasn't too bad height-wise for him. So it covers a big range of thingo. Now that's the cheapest on the list, $179. And I've got a dozen or so of them in the. I got a dozen or so in there in the shop before Christmas. But this is the one we're giving away to. Well, the one in the box. This is the display one from the shop. But this is the one we're giving away tonight. So now that brings us to my first tip. Don't buy them. Don't get them detecting with a very expensive machine. The trick with it is you want it nice and simple. You don't want a flash machine that's really complicated for them to work out. This machine's got 2 buttons on it, an on button and a discrimination button. So basically what it does, I've got a couple of targets here. That's an overlay, and it gives you a emoji, which the kids really, really love. So, and it will tell you that that's a rubbish target, being a bit of iron. We've got coins here. Coins ring up in the middle, gives you a different tone. And then big, good targets will give you a higher tone. So the 3 emojis, that's it. That's all there is to the machine. But it's a great basic machine just to go out there and have a good crack at. Takes 2 AA batteries, and is just a great little simple machine. So the ability to be able to discriminate out with a little cheap machine like this is phenomenal. So for machine things, get them one that's suitable for what they're going to use it for. They want it nice and simple, they want emojis, they want it fun to use, and it's a treasure hunt. If you buy them a cheaper machine that doesn't work really well, it will just frustrate them and they'll get sick of it and they won't want anything to do with it. So stay away from dials. Dials are so old-fashioned. stick with a machine that's got buttons and an LCD screen. It's what the kids these days are used to, admittedly. Let me turn that off. Right, so that brings me on to point number 2. So, if you're going to take them detecting, make sure they find something. So, that may mean you go out into a park and double check it with their machine beforehand, or take them somewhere really that you know there's targets there, or put some targets down for them and let them have a bit of fun finding it. And to go with that, part number 3 is don't take them prospecting, particularly the first thing. Don't take them out looking for gold. The problem with gold, and most of the gold fields, is the ground's rock hard. It's so rough. It's normally fairly dry, particularly in Queensland. And if you build it up that you're going hunting for gold and you don't find any gold, and you don't find gold every time you go out, they're going to be very disappointed. So there is one exception to that, and that is gold panding. So gold panding is really good. So you can, because in a lot of the gold fields you can pick up colour, some gold, in every pan. So that's the only exception. And in summer it's a great thing. The kids get in the water, they muck around, it's great. So yeah, and yes. So they're the first 3. Now I've probably got a stack of questions here. So we'll just scroll down and we'll just have a quick squiz here. Where was I up to? G'day Robin. Yeah, Robin, if your son's 9-year-old, it would be absolutely perfect for him, sort of thing. It's a great starter machine. So, yep, yeah. We've only had the stock in the shop for about 3 or 4 days, and every kid that walks in picks it up and plays with it. So the kids love it, sort of thing. So yeah, Jessica, they'd love that. And the beauty of it, I noticed here you mentioned you got 4 kids. The beauty of it is that 2 kids, detector each, 2 kids digging the holes, and it's a fantastic little thing. So. G'day Penny, how are you? How long do the batteries last? Brian, I don't know actually. I don't think it tells you here. I don't think it runs that... Like, I've probably used it... It's probably been on in the shop a couple of hours at least, mucking around with it. So, I don't know. I'll let you know, Brian. What depth will it pick up, Kelly asked. Kelly, I was digging targets there about 6 inches today. Yep, we're on. So, like, that's 4 inches. It's really hard to do it this way. But you're getting a good signal at 4 inches, 5 inches. That's on a 50-cent coin. Like, obviously, with any metal detector, the bigger the target, the further away it'll find it, sort of thing. That's 6 or 7 inches, sort of thing. So, bigger targets will find it deeper. And of course, in the ground, the ground there, we had a bit of rain down there at Browns Plains, so the signal sort of amplified a little bit. So it was probably going a little bit deeper than what it would normally do on a dry day. So, the other side of the thing, if you buy a good detector and it goes down 2 feet, the kid's got to dig a hole 2 feet. So you don't necessarily want... That's back to my first point, where you don't want a flash machine that's really complicated to run, because you don't want that, particularly if you're going and doing parks and that sort of thing. You don't want to be digging big, giant holes. So, Yep, so that's the depth. Justin there. Kids make good hole diggers. Yeah, I don't know how that works, Justin. I've never had much success with that, mate. Kelly, it's not waterproof. It's just you don't get any of those features in these simple machines. So you got to keep them out of the creek with it. George, I guess what you mean is there are numbers to choose from. There's a stack of different machines. In that price range, like you can go to a, let's say a Garrett Ace 200, right? It's $320, $330. It's a very, very powerful machine, and the beauty of a machine like that is you won't really outgrow that, but it's $330 as well. So it's simple enough for them to use, but I wouldn't go too much more complicated, particularly for the younger kids. You're probably better off with something like that machine, and then progress if they stick with it up to something a little bit better. So yeah. So hello Trisha, how are you? Irene's here as well. Merry Christmas to you, Irene. It's nice to have you here. James, one colour only. As long as you love blue, that's sweet. So yes. Okay. So point number 3. Point number 4, I should say, I'm up to. So, and that leads on to next week's topic, which we're talking about researching where to go. Now, next week's will be a little bit more advanced, but if you're taking the kids detecting, you want to find a place where they're really, where they're going to find a lot of targets. Good, bad, indifferent, it doesn't really matter for the kids. So, the standard things that everyone talks about, after the circus has left, after the show closes down, get permission to go into the showgrounds and have them detect. Outdoor concerts, markets, even some people get permission to go onto school grounds, the old football grounds. Now, with sports field, you tend not to find a lot of items on the sports field. You tend to find them around the outside of the sports field where people are sitting. So just have a really good think about the research side of things, and make sure the most important thing when you take them out is if you don't find anything for half an hour, there's trouble. Those kids demand results. So that's the most important thing. Down the beach is another thing. They get bored, they can go and have a swim. Even some of the creeks and that sort of thing. Kids having a swing around. Now, number 5, the biggest thing I think that I see in this hobby, and I've grouped it all under technique, is you need to be teaching the kids that the coil stays flat to the ground. There's so many adults, when they're detecting, the coil does this motion, where it needs to be flat to the ground. You won't, particularly gold prospecting, you've got to be perfectly flat to the ground. And then there's a group in with that is what they call is the detecting code of conduct, which is you need permission to go anywhere. You've got to fill the holes in and take all the rubbish with you. If you're finding rubbish, take it with you. So you leave the place better than what you found it, sort of thing. So, so they're my 5 tips for kids metal detectors, that would probably be a great start to detecting. So don't forget to make comments, guys, because Bounty Hunter machine, little 179 these are. This goes out to someone on this chat live tonight. I'll announce it tonight. So I have that mystery number written down on a piece of paper here. So we'll count the comments, and whoever makes that comment wins the prize. So, and thanks for Bounty Hunter for sending me this bad boy to give away tonight. So, yes. So let me get back to some of these comments. We're scrolling through. Right, James, we got the colour issue sorted. Blue. G'day Tricia. Aston. Yes, you're right. They will dig a hole if they think it's worthwhile. And $2 coins saves, or these goldies. You can find a few of them and it soon adds up, and there's their pocket money for the week. So, yeah. And a lot of people are saying that it makes good road trips, and, you know, it's great to do with the family. And that's exactly it. It gets you out of the house. The kids can go on a treasure hunt. They can go and, you know, find some coins. It's not something you don't have to go on a road trip. You can walk 10 minutes down the road to a local park, have a crack around, away you go. And the kids really love it. So, yes. So, well, Tricia makes a really good point here about round house yards. Some of these houses, like my house here, it was built, it was a post-war home, so 40s, 50s, late 40s, early 50s. So the amount of pre-decimal coins I found in this yard, I believe it was some sort of dairy before it was settled, but it's amazing what you find in a little house yard. I know people at Ipswich, and Ipswich has probably got a lot bigger history than what I have, what this area has here, and they have finding some fantastic stuff just in their yard, and yes, so it's a really, really good point. So, right, g'day Beck. Now Beck, we're here every Friday night, so let your dad know. Yeah, well, there's a number of places that I go to. Justin makes a good point here that if you take all the rubbish with you, the groundskeepers and the people who like look after the parks, they really, really do like you doing that. There's a couple of places that I go that I've got permissions on that no one else has permissions on, simply because I take all the rubbish with me, and I'm dragging big bags of rubbish out of the place. So a bag of rubbish, wow, people love that. The groundskeepers and the people who maintain the place. So, yeah, Jessica, all these TV shows on are stirring the kids up. So Jessica says here they love gem hunting, her kids. So detecting, yeah, and you can get into it really, really cheaply for something like this Bounty Hunter. So yeah. Hello, Bree. Yes, I do have an Australian accent. Guilty as charged. Kelly, we've got stacks of different, more expensive ones. They go up to $5,000-$6,000. There's some really, really nice machines around, like the AT Max from Garrett, XP Deus. Some of the new Minelab stuff's coming out. But all very, very good machines. There's no doubt about that. All those high-end machines. Even some of those Technetics machines, the G2, it's a nice machine too. It's a VLF machine. Then you talk about the Pulse machines. They're the more expensive ones. They're the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 machines. So, yes. So, g'day Drew, and Tim's here. James, Samantha. Samantha says, "Oh, wow, most generous of you." Well, it's not actually me, it's Bounty Hunter. So, yeah, so they haven't been here long, so it's good. So, yes. Karen, I see your kids, you're saying you love going out with you. Do they have a machine, Karen? Be interested to know if they're out panning for gold, or They're digging your holes for you. We're after that mythical creature, a kid who digs a hole. So, yes. Bree, just to recap, Bree asked how you enter it. You just need to make a comment. There's a magical number that I've got written down here, and I will count the comments up to that point, and we'll give away this. It is only open to Australian residents, I'm afraid, at this stage. So, because we've got to be able to post it in Australia. So, yes. Yes. Yeah, all the kids love it. Right, Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is a perfect time to deck beaches. The beaches, the problem with the beaches are, it's all right if you're a kid. You can get into the beaches, no trouble at all. But you need to be really, really careful with the beaches because people start complaining, get sick of you digging holes around the place. So I tend to like doing the beaches early in the morning or late in the afternoon, just when everyone starts to clear out. And you can, but it's great fun down the beach sort of thing. I really enjoy it. So, Michael, don't sell your Pro. Whatever you do, don't sell that AT Pro. This will not replace your AT Pro. So, and unless you're fairly short, Michael, you might need an extension on this somehow or other. So, yeah. Right, yeah, Samantha, put a few coins down. If they're finding stuff, they'll stick with it, no trouble at all. So, yeah, it's great. So just don't forget to make a comment to win the prize. That's the only way to go in it. Trisha has found a tractor seat. That's awesome. I haven't heard of anyone finding a tractor seat. It's amazing some of the stuff you can find. So, you know, those old metal tractor seats, you'd find that about 2 feet down. So, yeah, so, what else have we got here? What's the height of the handle? Oh, Stefan, the height of the handle, like I'm 5'9", and I took it over to the park today, and I had to bend down to use it. So, not a lot, I just had to lean over to my side sort of thing. You know, a bit hunchback looking. So you can imagine me in the park for an hour this afternoon, hunched over trying to find a target. But yeah, it's not really an adult one. If you went to some of the Bounty Hunter does one up from that. I think it's $289. The AT Pro, Ace 200 is a great machine. It's about $320, $330. They're great. George is here. Hello, George. 200 acres at Leeburn. You'll have some gold on there, mate. No doubt about that. So, yes. So, coolest find. That could be it. We could have a competition on that sometime, Bradley. So, solid gold brown. Samantha says that she's lost a solid gold bracelet in the yard, or her daughter did. Yeah, so even a little machine like that will definitely pick that up. No problems at all. So, so Ellison, starting out, don't necessarily get the world's best machine. Start out with a machine that's easy to use, easy to understand. The beauty about metal detectors is that they have a fairly good resale value as long as you look after them. So, if you look after it, once you outgrow that machine, you can then sell it on and upgrade yourself and buy a better machine. So it's just a matter of getting the right machine, getting started, finding a few bits and pieces. Now, there are fairly specialist things, or things that are a bit more challenging to a detector, and that's sort of salt water on the beach and the highly mineralised ground out in the bush looking for gold. So those are two sort of extremes for a metal detector. Some of these machines, like I do plan to take this out next time I go prospecting and have a crack with it, but I suspect that won't work very well out in the goldfields. simply because the ground's too heavily mineralised. Like if out in the goldfields, some of those goldfields, you put a magnet down on the ground, the rocks will stick to it. It's that metal and that magnetic, and the machines hate it. So you need a bit better quality machine for those two extremes. So there's a lot of bit better machines, but you know, for $600-700, $1,300, you can get a really, really good machine and get started on it. So, okay, so Leisha, how are you? Leisha makes a great point. It's about the history. Some of my most valued finds are not finds that have monetary value. Like, I like gold nuggets. There's a real challenge to finding gold nuggets, but some of the things, the early coins, the pre-1900 coins and stuff, that really gives for me anyway, that gives a fantastic, where's that coin been? You know, how long's it been kicking around? What's it seen? And then researching the goldfields. Some of those old blokes, like out at Warwick there's the grave of Dan Bray. Now, Dan Bray, he was just a prospector. Found out there, who knows what happened to him, but he had a claim out there. And he was found dead. So, he was probably one of the lucky ones. Like, these blokes, pre-1900, 1870s, 1880s, out in the bush there, basically by themselves, digging a hole in the ground, 50 metres. With a pick and a shovel. Like, the history, what goes into, how do you do that? Like, I don't think 5,000 blokes could go out to Warwick right now and we wouldn't have the stamina or the skills or the knowledge to read the ground like they used to have. And a lot of those blokes did it tough and died there, and it's just incredible. So, yeah, so it's the history of it. You know, there's so many. If you start looking around, just around the town you're in now, there is a phenomenal amount of interesting historical things, and we'll get into that a lot next week with the research that's happened in every town in Australia, in every town in the world, sort of thing. So, you know, there's towns that got shifted because of the floodwaters, and the old town, you can sort of still make it out, and it's all there on maps. There's old hotels that closed down 120 years ago, and the footings are all there. You know, so all of this is still here. The history is still here. You look at even some of the World War II military camps. Like, people, some very good people that I know, what they do is they go into the old American World War II army camps. They're looking for dog tags. They're just only interested in dog tags. They'll find the American dog tag, they'll look up the family, and they'll send it back to America to the family. Like, what a wonderful thing to do, and what a wonderful thing for that family to receive a dog tag from their grandfather from another country when he was over here. So, yeah, it's yes. So, right, we'll get back to some of these comments. Yeah, Scott, how are you? Tim's here. Jessica. Yeah, Scott, you're going to struggle to start him off in the goldfields. He needs to be finding something pretty consistently before he ventures out in the goldfields. So the goldfields can be too much for him, sort of thing. So, and it's a fraction warm out there normally. So, okay. Yeah, well, Cameron here. Hello. 25 years ago, went to Maytown. 6 old shovel heads with 3 pick heads. Yes, there's plenty of those in Australia across the place. So, yes. So, Brett asked a question. What do you think about the AT Max and the Minelab GPX 4500? Brett, they're two different machines. They are vastly different machines. One's a VLF machine, one's a pulse machine. And short version, because I could talk about that for an hour, but short version is the AT Max, being a VLF machine, will tell you what the target is before you dig it up, basically. The GPX 4500 or any of the pulse induction machines are really, you got to dig every hole with them. So it doesn't tell you what the target is. I know they're dearer, it doesn't make sense. But the beauty of the GPX 4500, I think you're talking about, is it will go much, much deeper. So out in the goldfields where there's very little rubbish, that's where those 45 the pulse induction machines come into their own. So yeah, so that's a short version. If you want to talk to me a bit more about it, mate, I might message you after this. Lucy, these bounty hunter machines that we're giving away tonight, just by making a comment here, these are $179 on special up till Christmas. I have 12 of them. They will go up on our website tomorrow. They're not up as yet, they only came in today. So, but you can ring the shop tomorrow morning and we'll put one aside for you. We can fix it up over the phone and post it out to you. So, Frank, hello Frank, how are you? New machines, some of the new machines need to be updated. Frank asked, like a lot of the new machines coming out, do they need to be updated by the computer? Some of them are that way. I think if we were to look at metal detectors in 10 years' time, they'd all be that way, or all the decent quality ones will be that way. But yeah, there's a few that need to be updated at the moment, sort of thing. So yes. All right, who else have we got here? Drew's here. Drew, I don't think you're the first one to think of Mount Morgan, but I'll tell you, there'll be gold there still. No trouble at all. So, Tricia, I have no idea whether I can get spare parts for this. I would think not, but I would have to check with the supplier. I might check with the supplier and get back to you tomorrow, actually. Well, it'll have to be Monday because they won't be open tomorrow. So, all right, so heaps of quartz on your property, Tricia. Awesome. Right. Paul asked, "Where can you tell me where to find the big nuggets?" Yeah, no problems at all, Paul. All right, you want to skip that little stuff and go straight to the big stuff? No problem at all, mate. But next week we'll be doing a bit of research, and I'm going to show you exactly how I research an area to look for gold nuggets. So yes, right. Yes, Samantha, some of the old medals and yeah, James, some of that old coinage and stuff, the people love them. So, oh, that's interesting. Bradley, it'd be interesting to know if Bradley found a watch 2 feet under and it was still working. So, that's incredible. So, yeah, it was can you tell a date on it or anything, Bradley? So, yes. So, yes, anywhere in Australia. Stephen asked, he's just outside of 2 wells in South Australia or South Africa. I believe that there is interesting things to find in every country, every town, doesn't matter. You just need to do a little bit of research and find out about the history, which is interesting by itself. But thinking about a detector, yeah, everywhere. Like, seriously, if you're looking for gold, every creek up the east coast of Australia, I think you could go and pan some colour out of every creek up the east coast of Australia. Like, you're not going to get rich. I'm not guaranteeing richness here, otherwise, you know. But every creek, there'll be gold up the east coast of Australia. next week when we show you some of the mines across Australia, the east coast of Australia, you'll be absolutely flabbergasted about how many gold mines there are. So, as far as history, people have been kicking around here for a lot of years, 150 years in most places, a minimum 100 years in a lot of places. There is gear everywhere. So, yes. All right, so I'm getting miles behind on the comments, guys. My apologies for that. So, let me... yeah, Matthew, the GPX, I see what I've just picked this up now from what we were talking about earlier. GPX, any of the GPXs, any of the ATXs, any of those pulse machines are phenomenal for gold. The AT Max is a fantastic, as you said, they're a great pairing. The AT Max will hit the beach no trouble at all, and then all the way to the goldfields, and you can even use it in the really trashy areas of the goldfield. So, so it would be a great pairing, and most people end up with a pulse induction machine, a good quality VLF machine, if they're really, really serious, because one's phenomenal at gold, and one's really good at the relic-y stuff. So, power lines do affect metal detectors. In fact, very few metal detectors won't be affected by power lines. I know the Garrett ATX won't be affected by power lines. Most of the VLF machines are okay. You can work pretty close to them, but you will get some false signals and they'll start to play up a little bit, sort of thing. So, yes, right. But Brian makes a very good point. An Apple iPhone in 10 years' time will probably be a metal detector as well. Probably, mate. Who knows what it'll be. We've got those XP Deus machines. I've been having a bit of a tinker with them. Well, they've got their control box, which is detachable, wireless, is the size of a phone, let's say, right? And the coil is completely wireless. You can go and do whatever you want with the coil. You know, you don't even have to have it attached to the shaft. You can just, away you go. So, Brian, I think it's closer than what you think, mate. So, yes. Caboolture Gold, we'll cover the prospecting, where to go in next week's video. There's a lot of questions about, can we find some gold here and there, sort of thing. So we'll cover a lot of that next week. So, yes, Keith's here. Hello, Keith. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Tim. Beechworth in Victoria, there's plenty around there. There still is, still coming out. So, right, who else have we got here? Yes, so, Kelly, the beauty of this machine is, let me just show you. So this is the machine we're giving away. You have to make a comment for, and I have a mystery number written down, and we're going to draw this in about, how long have we been going for now? About 45 minutes. We'll be drawing this in about 15 minutes, so at the end of the show. So the beauty of this is it gives you a sad emoji face. I don't know whether you can see that in the camera. Let me see if I can get that in the right spot. Well, sad emoji face, happy face, and on a good target, it gives you a very excited face. So the kids love that. So let me turn that off. So happy faces all round. So right, I think I've caught up. I think. Yes, the kids love those. I think the kids talk in different language, to be fair. That they talk, emojis and, yeah. So I think this is dialed right in. This is a great little machine, this. So, yes. So Tricia talks about the gold. That's what gold will be at the start of the Bremer in the mountains? Yeah, absolutely. There's gold throughout Australia. Like, you can basically draw a line down the east coast of Australia, you know, through the Territory, you know, WA's got a big run of it. There's a lot of gold in Australia. And there's a lot of people say, oh, no, it's been worked. It has been worked, but there's still a lot of it out there. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, so, right. Do pinpointers need to be away from your metal detectors? Well, they do. Metal detectors are made of a lot of metal. So if you get them too close to your metal detector, my advice to you is, if you're worried about the signal interfering with the signal interfering with each other, if you've got the machine on and you've got the Pro Pointer on, some can. If you're worried about that, just test it before you buy it. Normally, if you stick to, like, if you buy a Minelab machine and you buy a Minelab pointer, works fine. If you buy a Garrett machine, get a Garrett pointer, works fine together. So they're designed together. So Bounty Hunter even make a Pro Pointer. So every brand virtually makes a Pro Pointer. So so you can buy a Pro Pointer for this machine here, and they do work well together. I've tried it today. So yeah. So yes. So you're best to test it out beforehand, sort of thing. So right. No, I'm not having a JD, Daniel. So I might have one after I finish talking. If I had one now, I'd never know what I might say. So, yes. How much does it weigh? I don't know. Doesn't weigh much. It'd be less than a kilo. Yeah, it doesn't weigh much at all. My young bloke, who's 18 months old, like, he was sort of hanging on to it like that, and he was picking it up and walking around with it, so it's light enough. It might be half a kilo, if that. So, yeah, so, yes. Yeah, Matthew, the CTX 3030 is a good beach machine. You always find bits and pieces like that. So, yes. Hello, Jane. Samantha's here as well. Stephen. Mick, how are you, Mick? Az. Yeah, it's a great first detector, Az. Kelly, if you got two of these machines, if you got them really, really close together, I haven't tried this, but if you put any two metal detectors close together, they'll interfere with each other. But as long as they're a metre or two apart, 3 metres apart, they'll be fine, sort of thing. So, you know, as long as you're not trying to work the same hole with them, they'll be fine, sort of thing. So this is the Bounty Hunter Junior metal detector that we're giving away tonight. Well, actually, this is the one I've been using over in the park today, but we've got a new one in the box just here. So this is actually the one we're going to be giving away. And all you're going to do is make a comment below in the comments section and ask me a question, and I'll try and get to them. And I've got a magic number written down here, and the draw will be in about 13 minutes. And what I'll do is I'll count up the comments to my magic number, and I will send that person this machine for their kids on Monday morning at the post. So, yes, yeah, some of those, Craig makes an important point here. Some of the machines are just too big. There's very few machines that are shrink down to this size. Like, that's the width of my shoulders. So for the kids who love using metal detectors or love coming with you, it's a great little thing. So Thanks, Matthew. CTX and Garrett Pro Pointer work fine together. That's good. Yes. Looks perfect for the kids. Gabrielle, how are you? Glenn's here. What's the best detector on the market? Glenn asks. Well, Glenn, it depends on what you want to do. And how much money you got. So for a 6-year-old kid who wants to come detecting for you, this $179 detector is the best detector on the market. If you want to go gold prospecting and you want to go really remote, you're going to want pulse induction machines, $5,000, $4,000 plus, big expensive machines. If you want to go down the beach, you want a different machine. So it depends on what you want to do, depends on how much budget you got. But there is a machine out there for you. Yes. Yeah, g'day Brady, how are you? I read in Tassie there was 2,000 working mines back in the 1800s. Brady, I'd absolutely believe that. I know just the GPS locations that I've got over 12,000 GPS locations of mines all the way across Australia. That's not all of them. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And that's just the gold mines. When you start talking tin and all those sort of things, wow, unbelievable. So, Damo, how are you? AT Maxes at the moment are about $1,300, something like that. Best to double check on the website or eBay. A lot of the Australian dealers all do the website, so do eBay, I should say. So yes. Penny's son's trying to swing me over here by saying lots of pleases. So sorry, Penny. The decision's already named. The number's on the bit of paper, and that's how it is. So ATX doesn't come with wireless headphones, Nadia. It only comes with corded headphones. However, you can there is a kit you can make that there's a kit you can buy that is a wireless kit, and basically what you do is you plug one end into the detector, one end into your headphones, and it's wireless. So, and it works with any machine. It doesn't have to be ATX. It can work any machine, any brand, doesn't matter. So yes. So just a bit of a recap on what we're going to be doing next week. So we're going to do a lot of research stuff next week. We were going to do it tonight, but I needed some technical stuff. We probably won't be on the back veranda next week. We'll probably be in the back of the shop because we need to. We're going to put some of the computer screens or some of the websites up on our screen behind us. We've got a very, very special guest next week, and he's probably one of the most followed detectorists. Warren from NQ Explorers is going to join us next week and help me do the chat about the what are we doing? Researching. So he's going to be here. He's going to be with us next week at the shop, and he's got a lot of experience when it comes to relics and that sort of thing. He's done a lot of detecting across the world, really, and he's got a huge experience, and he's going to bring a great wealth of knowledge to what we're talking about. So, so we're really looking forward to that. It'll be 7:30 next Friday. Now, what else we got here? First detector was about there. Wow, 12. There's a lot of mines, and that's just gold mines. Like in the early, say pre-1940s, tin was a big thing. Huge tin mines. There's tin mines everywhere. So there's probably more tin mines than what there is gold mines across Australia. It's incredible. So, and some of these mines that we're talking about, some of them are just scrapings. They might have gone down 2 metres. That's it. So, yes. Yes, we've got wireless setups at the shop, Daniel. Yeah, Craig, you're best to cheat a bit with if the kids aren't finding stuff, there's no point doing it. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about, making it a treasure hunt, that's for sure. So, Tricia, we don't have any sample bags at the shop, sample bags of wash. We are looking at doing that. I don't quite know how to do it. I'd have to find a working gold mine close to the shop. Yes. George says, oh, you've lost the sound. Can everyone else hear me? I hope so. Right, now, let me just scroll. Let me just have a look here at the comments. Cool, thanks guys. Must be your end, George. Was that George that said he couldn't hear anything? Yes, so... Okay, so... We've got... Okay, so... Beautiful, thanks guys. Let me just have a look here. Right, so we are 5 minutes away from the draw, and then we'll call it quits. So, any last questions before we... Yes, Mick from the Young Guns, the cameraman for the Young Guns. Yeah, NQ Explorers. Warren from NQ Explorers should be very good to have on last night. He's a wealth of knowledge. We could probably go for about... well, Warren and I have bloody sat around chatting for 3 or 4 hours at times. So, yeah, so it's great. So... yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week, so it'll be very, very good. Okay, so I've done a bit of I was sort of counting before and picked a winner. The winner for the prize tonight is Aaron from... Aaron, where are you from, Aaron? Hang on a tick. Where's Aaron from? I don't know. So, Aaron, I will PM you after the show, find out your address, so I can send this machine out to you. So, congratulations, Aaron. I think there was some suggestion there that it'd be great for your daughter. Well, your daughter's going to love it, mate. It's a good little machine, that's for sure. With all our thanks for Bounty Hunter. We love the fact that... I know that's back to front. If I turn it around that way, it doesn't make it any better. But we love the fact that Bounty Hunter decided to come on board and give us one of these to give away. So, well done to Bounty Hunter. So... yes, so, okay, so that sort of wraps us up for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow I'll put up a reminder for next week's chat. You don't want to miss next week's chat with Aaron. Aaron's got the detector. Warren's coming. I'm not giving Warren a detector. With Warren from NQ Explorers. So I'll set it up and you'll see it in your feed. And yes, so make sure you click the reminder so you don't forget about it, because I think next week's will be a phenomenal thing. So, thank you very much. Don't forget to like the Facebook page. I'll put this, if you want to watch the replay, it'll be up on Facebook and on YouTube directly after this. And thank you all for joining me for Friday Night Live. And I hope to see you all next week. Thank you very much. Thank you.